So, for setting up this tin roof flashing, what I had to do was actually start with, because I live in this very small little structure here, I had to put the wood stove on its fireproof pedestal first and make sure that is in a good place. Once that was positioned, I took a string and a little piece of metal on the inside, and I tied the string and I moved the metal so that it would be in the center of the exhaust hole. I'll show you that in a second. But basically, I got it level in the two dimensions, the X and Y, and then I got it here. And now this hole, this circle that I actually made yesterday, based off of a number that I got from this window frame. I actually took the screen out and measured over, and then I actually matched that up with a piece of this some location on this tin roofing, which aligns with the tin roofing up here. So then I transferred the number from over to up, and I got that circle made yesterday. And it actually, after I ended up doing all the leveling and I just drilled through where I made my mark, it's pretty close to circle or to center. So, but actually this hole needs to go up a certain amount. I'm going to, instead of cutting, the instructions want me to cut a 23-inch slot in the roof right here, and then slide this part here into that, and then you caulk the edges, and they go like they are now on the one side of the rib, so the water isn't going to come over the ribs and get in. So actually, all I have to do in this case, which is a benefit to me, I have just this ridge, which has these 1/4-inch rubber washered screws. Those are going. I just have to remove these two, and then I can actually fit the entire flashing between here and here, and then I can just slide it under and put those screws back in. But I will still have to cut this. But what I'm going to do is take those screws out and then retrace my hole however much farther up the flashing will go into that. So I'm going to make another little clip for that. And actually, I'm going to go inside and show you the wood stove with the center line quick. Place is a disaster right now. So, yeah, where is it? It's got a piece of metal, and then I just can maneuver that around till the string's in the center, and then I just check left and right, make sure that's level. I had to do it like this because the stove is, look, I got 10 inches to get into the kitchen, and 8 inches between my heat shield, which has 3/4-inch steel spacers on cement board. And the problem I ran into was actually that the 3/4-inch spacers, I don't know if you can see, there's a washer there. The spacers were actually driving into the drywall or the cement board, and then I couldn't maintain a 3/4-inch distance, so I had to put the washers on there, and I had to put in basically this corner, and then this corner of just this piece down here, And then I put in, once it was maintained level, I put in the last row down with spacers and washers. And then I would have to like peel it back. I'd put the holes in it, then I'd put the screws in it, then I'd put the spacers on the screws, and then the washers on that. And it was, to say the least, a pain in the ass because everything kept falling off. And what I learned was that, you know, you got to have the washers because they just, as the impact driver just drives them right into the cement board. So I would actually recommend, don't even waste your time going to your local hardware store looking for those little simple pieces. I went to mcmastercarr.com, look for steel spacers, and those are 1/4 inch by inside diameter by 3/4 inch, and they got here in like 2 days, and or like a day and a half really. So I went to everyone, went to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware. I went to the True Value place and the local little stores. No one had them. So I got my pedestal set up first, then the heat shield, then I put the stove in, then I got my line, then I went up and I found my spot up there, and I just drilled up, and that's where my hole is. So the next step is to actually just unscrew the, now I'm gonna just unscrew the ridge, slide it up in there, and trace the new circle. The reason I'm making this video is because I was trying to find some information on this, because I've never done it before, on YouTube, and all I could find was the rubber boot flashings, which I am not interested in using. So I will be back with cutting. Okay. Okay, got that slipped in. No holes necessary. Got my center line here. I had to adjust it. The original center line, when I lined it up, I wanted these, whoa, wet roof, metal. All right. I wanted these ribs to be evenly spaced from the side of this flashing, which they are. So the original center line had to be moved. I tested out to the left first, and then I went to the right, and the one I liked was to the right better. It gets 2 ribs instead of getting 3. And it's just more even. Well, I just like it. I guess it's just as even the other way. But anyway, that's that. So let's try not to die on camera. Okay, I got to trace this new hole. It's a little bit up, say about 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches up. So yeah, this is where I want to be. Okay, I guess that's Okay, so I have found my center on the roof, and I have found my center in here by putting a screw through the roof down here where I had the original screw, that little daylight hole, so it's not too much of a difference. That whole thing's going to get cut out anyway. And I am not going to cut out the circle from the outline of the inside of the flashing. I'm going to cut out a 10 by 10 box, which is the red line outside the black line there. And then it wants to be framed with the vertical side of the 2x4 going around the box. So I got 22.5 and 22 5/8. So all I got to do is cut this out, add another 1.5 inches for the 2x4s, and let's see, I'll add a whole 1.5 inches on this whole length, and then I'll just take another 1.5 inches off this 10-inch section right there. From there to there. Okay. So, these corner metal support brackets here are because if you can't get your drill inside here, I took the extension off mine. That's how I got it in. If you can't get your drill in here to screw this to the framing that's going to go inside there, on the outside of that box, then what you do is you screw this to the outside of there, and then you nail this corner bracket to the framing. So that's what that's for, but I will not need that because I am just going to cut that square out, put the framing in, put the box in, and then cut the box, or at least go to the roof and outline the box, and then, or you know what, I'll actually outline the box on this side because I have a flat surface to work with, and then I'll take it down. I'll mark the top of the box on the roof, go up there, mark the box, come in here, mark where the top of the roof is, come in here and mark the slope on the side of the box as I have preliminarily done, but that, that might end up not being the actual line, but I think it's the line. But the line I'll end up using. Yeah, you know what? I did the math, and that's the pitch on my roof. So, to make this easier, I'm just gonna cut that ahead of time, put it up, screw it in, and then go up and put the chimney. It wants you to put the chimney and that little on that black piece, and then put that into the box with those pieces attached to each other. Okay. All right. Next, we will do probably the cutting of the box and the cutting of the foam and the framing and the roof. All right. Yeah. Now, I did run into some electrical wires on the right. So, okay. Let's see. I'll probably have to notch. Okay, so I'm going to notch out what I think I can do. Pile the two wires on top of each other, and instead of doing next to one each other, to get more contact onto this stud with the one that I carving out. So okay, well I only have one wire here, so that's cool. Okay, this hole must be where one of these other wires goes, so okay. 1 and 2. Can I get these to pile on each other? No, probably just it's an inch. Okay. That's like 3/8 or something. Okay. Alright, we got our hole. You got the one stud here, one stud there, a stud here, and a stud there. 10 inches. Actually, the box is 10 by 10, but it's really 9 3/4. So I made my framing to be 9 13/16. Alright, so this is the next video for the install of the box through the roof. The reason I have not made this video since the last one is because right after I made the last video where I showed the electrical wires that I found, I notched the 2x4 to go around them, so that I can still, and then I actually put a screw that I tried to not hit the wires with, but I ended up putting a screw right through both of the wires, and it was such a pain in the ass. I highly recommend that you do not do that. So I ended up having to, that ruined my day. Everything was going swimmingly until then. I ended up having to add a junction box and a light box because I kept trying to repair it and kept getting less and less slack to work with. So now I have a junction box and a light box acting as basically a junction box, another one. I had to splice, a section between them. But here it is. Now, the other mistake I made when framing this box was that I installed these 2x4s so that the bottom end here was like even with this. So the 2x4s were actually they were not plumb as they are now. They were like this, both of them, because I made them even with this, and I didn't think about that. So then I had to redo that, and this part didn't exactly fit. It was a little small, so it didn't hurt to just screw these in first, and then I did have to get a friend come here and hold this up while I screwed in the sides, you know, and then once you got these sides screwed in, then you can pull these in and screw these to here so that, you know, so that everything's touching the same amount. Instead of doing it by math, you can just do it by pushing. It looks like I got a crack in there. Whatever. But that is the piece. These framed out pieces are the pieces that hold the weight of everything above this box, and including this box, which is only a 4-foot section and a rain cap and a, yeah, that's it. But so let me take you outside and show you. Okay, so you can see there that I have cut the ridge, the little ridges on the bottom of the flashing. I made that with a Sharpie, and then I cut it with a cutoff grinder wheel, and then kind of smoothed it out a little bit. And I put this high heat silicone 4 flashings all around it. Sorry, it's so shaky. It's zoomed in a lot. It's really sensitive. And then I also put that same silicone around the storm collar there, and it's around all the sides of the flashing. So that thing is sealed up real good. I only had to make this square for the shape of the box, and the box comes up about an inch over the tin roof. Here's the shape of the piece I ended up cutting out. So it ended up working pretty good. Yeah. So I haven't been able to find a video on how to install a flashing like I have on YouTube, so I figured I'd make one because I'm gonna do it. So that's my learning process, and good luck. Take care. Smoked sausage grilling with the English muffins, providing them with fat to toast these English muffins with some smoked chicken fat. You got grilled chicken, that's leftovers from lunch, with what we got in there? Shallots, scallions, and cherry tomatoes, Asiago cheese, some beans, broccoli, and tea. Yeah.